Could Future be the one to finally crack open the glamorous shell of Hollywood's most untouchable IT girl? The internet is absolutely losing its mind right now, because word on the street is that Pluto himself has finally broken his silence on what really went down with Harvey. For years, we all thought it was just another classic, messy celebrity breakup. We watched the public shade, we heard the infamous lyrics, and we shrugged it over as a frustrated ex throwing a tantrum. But what if the toxic king wasn't just bitter? What if he actually stumbled onto a massive, carefully managed secret lifestyle that changed everything? Suddenly, those old rumors about exclusive luxury yachts, high-profile companionship circles, and multi-million-dollar travel arrangements don't seem so far-fetched. The conversation is getting louder, the internet detectives are connecting the dots, and social media is practically on fire. Is Future actually preparing to back up the wild claims that have followed for years? Or is this just another masterclass in celebrity drama? Strap in, because we are diving deep into the unverified secrets, the hidden circles, and the real reason why these latest statements have absolutely everyone talking. The rumors currently tearing through social media aren't just your run-of-the-mill Hollywood gossip. We are talking about an absolute shift in how the public views the entire entertainment industry elite. For years, the general public has looked at Harvey as the ultimate symbol of untouchable, glamorous independence. She moves through the highest echelons of society, dates the most sought-after men in the world, and walks away completely unscathed without ever uttering a single word in self-defense. It is a brilliant, masterfully executed brand strategy. But what happens when the loudest, most unapologetic voice in rap music decides he is completely done playing by the unspoken rules of the Hollywood elite? Future has made an entire career out of being the villain, a title he wears like a badge of honor. He is the man who turned relationship toxicity into a multi-million-dollar musical empire. So when he speaks, the internet listens, even if they know they should probably take everything he says with a massive grain of salt. The current storm started brewing when anonymous insiders close to the rapper's camp began whispering about a vault of unreleased tracks and private journals. These sources claim that Future didn't just walk away from because the spark fizzled out. They are claiming he walked away because he discovered a completely separate, highly organized operation happening right beneath his nose. To understand why this is suddenly causing a massive panic in the entertainment world, you have to look at the track record of everyone involved. Future is not a man known for his restraint or his ability to keep a secret when he feels slighted. We have seen him drag his exes through courtrooms, social media tirades, and chart-topping diss tracks for nearly a decade. He has faced off against Sierra, engaged in bitter public feuds with the mothers of his children, and used his music as a weapon against anyone who crossed him. Yet, when it came to his public reaction was oddly specific, and laced with an underlying bitterness that seemed to hint at something much larger than a standard heartbreak. The industry has always operated on a system of mutual protection, where high-profile figures look the other way to preserve their own status. But the current cultural climate has changed the game completely, with massive power players facing unprecedented legal scrutiny behind the scenes. The old walls of silence are starting to crumble. People are no longer willing to dismiss blind items and internet rumors as mere fanfiction. There is a growing sense of anxiety among elite social circles because they realize that someone like Future has absolutely nothing to lose by burning the entire house down around them. The narrative being spun by these recent insider reports suggests that was allegedly navigating an ultra-exclusive social circle that goes far beyond normal celebrity dating. We are talking about a world where private companionship, meticulously timed public appearances, and luxury travel arrangements are treated like corporate transactions. According to these unverified claims, these relationships are not built on romance, but on carefully drafted agreements designed to elevate the status of both parties before they quietly move on to the next arrangement. Online commentators are now dissecting every single public appearance has made over the last several years, looking for clues that they might have missed the first time around. They are looking at the sudden timelines of her relationships, the rapid transitions from one high-profile star to the next, and the incredible level of privacy she manages to maintain through it all. It is the kind of clinical precision that doesn't usually happen in the messy world of real human emotions, which is exactly why the internet is so eager to buy into the theory of a managed lifestyle. The panic isn't just limited to the fans debating this on message boards. Industry insiders are reportedly frantic because Lori's dating history reads like a VIP guest list for the biggest events in entertainment. If Future truly possesses information that validates these wild theories, the ripple effect could damage the reputations of some of the biggest names in music, sports, and film. We are talking about a potential domino effect that could expose the mechanics of how Hollywood relationships are manufactured and monetized behind closed doors. What makes this situation so volatile is the sheer contrast between the two main characters. Lori is the queen of silence, a woman who lets the media spin whatever story they want while she simply posts another flawless picture from a tropical paradise. Future is the exact opposite, a chaotic force of nature who thrives in the middle of a public spectacle. When a force like that decides to target someone who relies entirely on keeping the curtain closed, a massive explosion is inevitable. The whispers suggest that Future's legendary resentment didn't stem from being left behind, but from the realization that he was just another carefully selected chapter in a much larger, transactional playbook. This wasn't just a blow to his ego, it was a direct challenge to his identity as the ultimate player. The rumors claim that he began digging into the logistics of her lifestyle, tracking the flight manifests of private jets and the origins of funding for massive luxury yachts that frequently appear on social media feeds. The concept of luxury yachting culture has been a dark open secret in the entertainment industry for decades, often associated with wealthy international figures who pay astronomical sums for elite companionship. Whenever a young, beautiful influencer or celebrity is seen spending weeks on a multi-million-dollar vessel in St. Tropez or the Mediterranean without any clear business reason, the internet immediately starts questioning the true nature of the trip. For years, these questions were kept to the fringes of the internet, but now they are being pushed directly into the mainstream. This brings us to the core of the panic currently shaking up Hollywood. If these unverified reports are accurate, Future is allegedly holding on to concrete documentation that links these luxury excursions directly to specific financial backers. We are not just talking about gossip anymore. We are talking about the potential exposure of a highly coordinated network that caters to the wealthiest individuals on the planet. The mere suggestion that a major rap star could validate these claims has sent shockwaves through elite talent agencies and public relations firms. The strategy for dealing with these kinds of rumors has always been to ignore them until they go away, a tactic that Lori has mastered perfectly over the years. Whenever a scandalous blind item surfaces, she simply pivots, signs a new modeling contract, or appears at a high-fashion event with a new prominent suitor. It is a defensive strategy that relies entirely on the public having a short attention span and being easily distracted by shiny, beautiful things. But that defensive strategy only works if the other party agrees to stay quiet, and Future has never been known for his compliance. The latest reports indicate that the rapper has been recording new material that allegedly names specific locations, dates, and individuals connected to this rumored secret lifestyle. This isn't just about a bitter ex writing a breakup song anymore. This is starting to look like a targeted campaign to dismantle an entire reputation. The public reaction has been a mix of absolute shock and intense skepticism, with many arguing that Future is simply recycling old internet rumors to generate hype for his next project. His critics point out that he has a clear motive to fabricate or exaggerate these claims out of spite. After all, being publicly discarded by a high-profile woman and then mocked on social media is not something a man with Future's massive ego takes lightly. Yet, the skepticism is doing very little to slow down the momentum of this story. The internet loves a massive conspiracy, especially one that promises to pull back the curtain on the glamorous lives of the rich and famous. Every single photo of Lori standing on the deck of a yacht surrounded by wealthy individuals is being treated like a piece of criminal evidence, with users zooming in on reflections and matching timelines to see who else might have been on board. The narrative has grown so massive that it is starting to attract the attention of mainstream media outlets, who are carefully trying to report on the social media frenzy without exposing themselves to massive defamation lawsuits. The tension is palpable because everyone knows that if even a fraction of these claims turn out to be true, it will fundamentally change how the public consumes celebrity culture. The illusion of the perfect, independent IT girl would be shattered, replaced by a much darker reality of industry engineering. As the digital landscape continues to melt down over these allegations, the focus remains squarely on what Future will do next. Will he actually release the tracks that his inner circle is boasting about? Or is this all a highly calculated bluff designed to force a reaction out of a woman who has spent her entire life refusing to give him one? The stakes have never been higher for either side of this feud. The silence from the Harvey camp is deafening, but behind the scenes, crisis management teams are reportedly working overtime to ensure that these rumors do not cross over into credible reporting. They understand that in the court of public opinion, a rumor doesn't need to be proven true to cause irreparable damage to a brand that relies entirely on prestige and luxury endorsements. This brings us to the tipping point of the entire scandal, where the line between internet gossip and industry reality becomes completely blurred. The focus is shifting away from the simple mechanics of a celebrity breakup and moving toward a much more dangerous territory involving historical industry behavior and the powerful figures who operate in the shadows of these luxury social circles, setting the stage for a confrontation that could change everything. The shift from simple relationship drama to a dark, deep dive into industry secrets is exactly where this story becomes incredibly chaotic. Internet detectives are no longer just looking at Future's old lyrics. They are now meticulously cross-referencing every single high-profile connection Lori Harvey has ever had. The focus has aggressively turned toward the infamous rumors linking her to Sean Diddy Combs. This particular chapter of her public dating history has always been treated with an immense amount of curiosity, but in light of recent massive legal explosions surrounding Diddy, those old photos of them vacationing together in Italy and Mexico are being viewed through an entirely different lens. When those images first surfaced years ago, the internet was mostly shocked by the massive age gap and the bizarre rumor that Lori had previously been linked to Diddy's own son, Justin Combs. At the time, Lori did what she always does. She completely denied the allegations and let the news cycle move on. But the internet never truly forgets. Now that the public has seen the harrowing details laid out in official lawsuits against Diddy, including the explosive claims made by Cassie, people are looking back at those luxury family vacations with a profound sense of skepticism and alarm. The allegations in Cassie's historic lawsuit painted a terrifying picture of how the highest levels of the entertainment industry allegedly operate. It described a world of total control, forced compliance, and highly orchestrated gatherings at luxury hotels and private estates. When the public reads about those strict expectations and the alleged dark realities of that fast-moving lifestyle, they naturally begin to wonder about every other young woman who was ever spotted in that orbit. The internet began frantically connecting dots that were never meant to be connected, looking at old paparazzi photos of Lori smiling alongside Diddy, and wondering what was truly happening behind the closed doors of those elite properties. The speculation reached an absolute fever pitch when reports resurfaced regarding Diddy's former partner, Gina Huynh. She had previously claimed during a public media appearance that she saw a highly private, unclad photograph of Lori Harvey on Diddy's personal phone. According to her story, the photo was stashed away in a digital album in the exact same intimate pose that Diddy had taken with other women in his life. Hearing a direct witness describe something so incredibly specific gave the internet all the ammunition it needed to turn vague gossip into an absolute conspiracy theory. Suddenly, the narrative wasn't just that Lori was a young socialite enjoying the perks of being wealthy and well-connected. The internet commentators began throwing around heavy, damaging labels, suggesting that her entire public persona might have been a beautifully crafted front for a highly transactional existence within Diddy's notorious inner circle. Cultural critics and controversial figures like Jaguar Wright quickly jumped onto the bandwagon, launching furious public tirades against Steve and Marjorie Harvey. Jaguar Wright openly accused the entire Harvey family of being fully aware of the darker dynamics playing out in those elite spaces. She claimed that it was mathematically impossible for a family so deeply entrenched in Hollywood to be completely oblivious to what was happening around someone as powerful as Diddy. The narrative shifted from a simple dating rumor to a massive allegation of parental negligence and corporate compliance, suggesting that the family allegedly chose to look the other way to protect their industry connections, their massive fortune, and their standing among the Hollywood elite. This is exactly where Future's alleged new stance enters the equation with devastating force. The rumor mill is now insisting that Future has been paying close attention to these unfolding industry scandals, and is utilizing this exact moment to validate the worst fears of the public. If the toxic king of rap truly possesses inside knowledge or digital proof of what went down during those infamous yacht trips and elite gatherings, his potential compliance with investigators, or his sudden decision to speak out through his music, could completely shatter the Harvey family legacy. Online commentators argues that Future's notorious line about Steve Harvey on the track, Maybach, wasn't just a random shot fired in a moment of jealousy. They are now theorizing that Future was dropping a massive, coded warning to the entire industry. The theory suggests that he was subtly hinting that he knew the true nature of how Lori's lifestyle was being funded, and who was pulling the strings behind the scenes. When a major artist stands up on a global platform and completely rejects one of the most desirable women in the world, the internet is always going to look for a much deeper, more scandalous reason. The complexity of this situation multiplies because Lori has spent years building a reputation based entirely on her luxury aesthetic. She is the face of major beauty brands, a regular fixture at high fashion runways, and the blueprint for how to navigate modern celebrity culture with absolute grace. Her brand relies entirely on the perception of clean, high-end luxury. If the public truly begins to believe that this luxury was part of a managed, transactional system orchestrated by industry titans, the financial fallout for her empire would be catastrophic. This is why the current silence from her team is being analyzed so intensely by crisis management experts. In the digital age, remaining silent can either look like supreme confidence or absolute terror. While Lori continues to post stunning, uninterrupted content of her daily life, the comment sections beneath her posts have become an absolute war zone. Fans are demanding answers, trolls are dropping endless yacht emojis, and critics are asking direct questions about Future and Diddy. The pristine image she worked so hard to maintain is being chipped away by a relentless wave of unverified speculation. The contrast between her handled response and Future's chaotic public history is what keeps this engine running. Future has absolutely zero fear of public backlash because his entire brand is built on being problematic. He has spent years navigating messy custody battles, public spats with his multiple ex-partners, and constant legal threats from women claiming he tried to ruin their reputations. He is completely comfortable in the mud, which makes him an incredibly dangerous adversary for someone who exists entirely in the clean, sanitized world of high fashion. The gossip channels are currently claiming that Future has been in the studio working on a project that will allegedly blow the lid off the entire situation. They claim he is tired of being painted as the bitter, broken-hearted ex who just couldn't handle losing a beautiful woman. Instead, he wants to flip the script entirely and show the world that he was the one who chose to walk away after realizing that the relationship was part of a much larger, highly calculated industry game. Whether these tracks will ever see the light of day is a completely different story, but the mere threat of their existence is keeping the entire entertainment industry on edge. Talent agencies and public relations firms that represent other major celebrities who have dated Lori are reportedly monitoring the situation with extreme caution. They know that if Future starts dropping specific names, dates, and locations, the collateral damage could extend far beyond just Lori and her family. It could implicate a whole network of high-profile athletes, actors, and music executives who have crossed paths with her over the years. The internet has created a monster out of this narrative because it feeds into the public's deep-seated fascination with the dark side of Hollywood. People want to believe that there is a secret, hidden world where the rich and famous engage in carefully managed arrangements away from the eyes of the public. Lori Harvey's impeccable lifestyle and mysterious privacy make her the perfect canvas for the internet to paint these wild theories upon. Every single past luxury vacation, every private jet flight, and every VIP event appearance is now being re-evaluated through this lens of suspicion. As the digital hysteria intensifies, the narrative is naturally moving toward its next logical phase, where the hidden tension between these two powerhouse forces is bound to spill over into a public confrontation that could permanently change how we look at celebrity relationships, setting the stage for an absolute breakdown of the truth. The momentum of this entire situation has now reached a point of absolute volatility, where the line between online chatter and real-world consequences is becoming dangerously thin. The internet is no longer just asking questions. Commentators are demanding that someone step forward with actual documentation. As the speculation surrounding Future's alleged vault of information continues to dominate the digital space, legal experts and industry insiders are beginning to weigh in on what a potential fallout could actually look like for the entire Harvey family legacy. If these unverified rumors about a transactional social circle ever transition from blind items into actual, credible reporting, the financial repercussions would be immediate and severe. Lori Harvey has spent years carefully curating a business empire that relies entirely on high-end prestige, luxury endorsements, and corporate partnerships. Major fashion houses and beauty conglomerates are notoriously risk-averse. They do not wait for a court of law to prove a scandal true before they pull the plug on multi-million-dollar contracts. The mere association with the darker, hidden elements of the entertainment industry could cause her brand value to plummet overnight. Behind the scenes, crisis management publicists are reportedly scrambling to figure out how to neutralize a threat that hasn't even fully manifested yet. You cannot launch a standard public relations defense against a shadow enemy like internet gossip, especially when that gossip is fueled by a chaotic force like Future. If her team issues a massive formal denial, they risk drawing even more mainstream attention to the very rumors they are trying to bury. But if they continue to maintain their strategy of absolute silence, they allow the internet detectives to completely control the narrative, filling the void with increasingly wild theories. The public backlash is already bleeding out of the gossip forums and directly into the comment sections of Lori's official business pages. Every time she posts a new promotional video or a behind-the-scenes look at her glamorous life, the digital space is flooded with intense scrutiny. People are no longer just leaving compliments about her outfits. They are asking direct, uncomfortable questions about yachting culture, Diddy's old inner circle, and what Future supposedly found out. This shift in audience behavior shows that the scandal is starting to impact her core consumer base, making it harder for her brand to operate in a vacuum of perfect luxury. At the same time, the spotlight has turned harshly towards Steve and Marjorie Harvey. Steve Harvey is a beloved television icon with a highly carefully maintained, family-friendly image that has made him a household name across the globe. His entire brand is built on wisdom, family values, and relatable humor. The relentless allegations being made by figures like Jaguar Wright, who claim that the family was fully aware of these rumored industry dynamics, are threatening to tarnish a legacy that took decades to build. Corporate sponsors and network executives are highly protective of their audiences, and any proximity to a massive industry scandal is viewed as a significant liability. The internet is now obsessively watching Future's every move, waiting to see if he will actually pull the trigger on the explosive revelations his circle has been hinting at. Some commentators believe that the rapper is playing a highly calculated game of psychological warfare, using the threat of exposure to keep his name in the headlines and maintain absolute leverage over his ex. In the music industry, there is no currency more valuable than authentic controversy, and Future knows exactly how to manipulate the public's thirst for drama to maximize the streaming numbers for his upcoming projects. However, a growing segment of the audience is beginning to express a deep sense of skepticism about the rapper's true motives. Critics are pointing out that Future has a long, documented history of engaging in bitter public feuds with almost every single prominent woman he has ever been involved with. They argue that this latest narrative is simply a continuation of his established pattern of behavior. The reaction of a man who cannot handle a high-profile woman moving on from him completely on her own terms. By framing her independence as something sinister or manufactured, he attempts to regain control of the public narrative. This divide among the fans has created an absolute civil war on social media platforms. On one side, you have the dedicated followers of the toxic king who believe that he is an unfiltered truth-teller exposing the hypocrisy of the Hollywood elite. On the other side, you have defenders who argue that Lori is being subjected to a deeply unfair, misogynistic smear campaign simply because she chooses to date widely and live her life in absolute luxury, without offering explanations to the public. They point out the double standard where a man is celebrated for having a lengthy dating history, while a woman is scrutinized and subjected to intense conspiracy theories for the exact same thing. The situation is further complicated by the broader cultural shift happening across the entertainment landscape. with major industry power structures being actively dismantled by legal investigations, the public has become highly primed to believe the absolute worst about celebrity culture. The old illusions of effortless fame and glamorous lifestyles have been replaced by a deep-seated suspicion that everything behind the curtain is transactional and controlled. Lori Harvey's flawless, untouchable aesthetic inadvertently makes her the perfect target for this collective cultural cynicism. As the digital hysteria reaches its absolute peak, the entire conversation keeps looping back to the core questions that started this frenzy. The public is left wondering if we are truly on the verge of witnessing a massive exposure of Hollywood's hidden mechanics, or if we are simply watching a masterclass in internet manipulation and creative clickbait. The tension is incredibly palpable because everyone knows that in the modern media landscape, a well-engineered rumor can be just as destructive as the absolute truth. The digital clock is ticking, and the pressure is mounting on both sides of this historic celebrity feud. Whether Future actually drops a definitive track that changes the game, or whether the Harvey family breaks their legendary silence to launch an aggressive legal counteroffensive, a massive breaking point is completely inevitable. The entertainment world is holding its breath, fully aware that whatever happens next will permanently alter how the public views the intersection of celebrity romance, luxury lifestyle, and industry power. The narrative has grown far too massive to simply fade away into the background of the news cycle. It has become a permanent fixture of modern pop culture commentary, an ongoing case study in how public perceptions can be completely rewritten by the relentless power of social media algorithms and unverified claims. The characters have played their parts perfectly, keeping millions of viewers thoroughly hooked on every single twist and turn of this incredibly complex, high-stakes drama, leaving the entire internet waiting for the final curtain to drop. So, what do you think is really going on behind the scenes? Is Future actually preparing to expose a massive, hidden Hollywood playbook that the elite have been desperately trying to keep under wraps? Or is this just another classic case of a bitter ex refusing to let go of a high-profile breakup? Do you believe there is actual truth to these dark yachting rumors and industry connection theories? Or has the internet simply turned regular celebrity dating into a wild conspiracy? The timeline, the lyrics, and the sudden silence from the Harvey camp definitely leave a lot of room for speculation. I want to hear exactly where you stand on all of this drama. Drop your honest thoughts, theories, and opinions in the comments section down below, because the conversation is happening right now and it is absolutely wild. If you want to stay ahead of the game and get the absolute latest updates on this unfolding celebrity scandal, make sure to hit that like button right now. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications so you never miss another breaking report. Thank you so much for watching, and I will definitely catch you in the next video.